Hello everyone, and welcome to RMX Software Tutorials. Today I'll demonstrate a particular method for creating codependent dropdown lists in Excel. This method can help you achieve beyond basic user level, as we will get to see creating name ranges and references, data validation to create lists, understanding the indirect function and how it's used and how it works, and as well combining Excel functions with data validation to produce the codependent drop-down lists. Okay guys, well from here we can actually see that we have Office as a training category, and underneath there will be the courses like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Access, and so on. And simply by selecting Office from a drop down here, we will only be able to see the courses that are under Office in a table within our Excel sheet. Same goes for each and every one of these training categories. Now, the first part of it is that we need to create a normal drop-down list. Simply by going into it, notice that we can select the column A, and by navigating to data and going into data validation, and there it is, we can select it from here. And notice that under settings, we can specify the validation criteria. And from here, we will be selecting what we are here for actually is list. So specifying the source. To be able to set up the source here, we can select into the source box and then select these items, which are basically representing our training categories. And by pressing OK, you can see that each one of these items will be occurring within the drop-down lists that we have created for the entire column. So if I select Office here, it could work out fine. I could select something else like Adobe and so on. Now for the next part, which is basically creating the codependent list. We cannot just go about it and select these items without creating a reference or named ranges. And by that we mean we need these items to be all included inside a box which we will call Office, so that this particular cell would look inside this cell, and whatever is typed in here or it has been selected will be the key to unlock this drop-down list, and simply will give you the items that are under that name. Now to do so, we can simply select the items and give them a name like Office. These items, a name like Cisco, but we're not going to do each and every one separately, of course. So by selecting the entire data, just like so, and going from formulas, creating from selection, and in here Microsoft Excel will ask you where is the header for your data. Now simply the header is being represented to the left column, so I'm just going to remove the top row here and just keep on my left column. I'm going to press OK. Now I know that it looks like nothing has happened, but actually if you go to the name manager from up here, you'll be able to see that we have created a named range for each and every one of these items. These are the names, and under each name will be the reference for us underneath. Now on to the next part, which is basically creating the second drop-down list. In this drop-down list, we will be using the indirect function. Now the indirect function actually looks into a reference and then gets you the result that are inside the reference. So if we are looking into Office, and let's assume that we're typing in equal indirect. There we go. And the reference of the text, we'll get it from here. we're going to press enter. And notice that it was able to display and spill out here the entire list of items that are under the name office. And that's only because office is a name that we have created inside the named ranges. To get rid of this one, and the way we want to demonstrate it so that the indirect actually spills out the content of office or any other category into the list or the drop-down list. And this is where creating the codependent drop-down list will happen. Again, I'm not going to select one cell. I'm just going to go for the entire column here. And do it again by just going into data validation, selecting the list criteria. And in it, we want to type in here equal indirect. Simply, I'm saying indirectly get me whatever name you'll find in the correspondence cell right next to you. And that would be equal A1. So indirectly, get me whatever you find in A1, which is basically the first cell. So don't get confused about why am I putting A1 in particular, because we have selected the entire column here, and we want to start referring to each and every one by just going on to the first cell. I'm going to press OK, and it's going to show here that the source currently evaluates to an error. Well, yes, I want to continue. And this message particularly means so that when we created the function for the entire column, it looked into the first cell, which is A1. And in here, it's saying that, well, basically it says training category. And training category is not a name. If you remember, we have created for Office, Adobe, Cisco, development tools, and all of that. But for training category, it's not a reference, which is okay for us. It's just that to go with our demonstration here, we're going to press yes. And notice that starting from the second one, given that it's selected Office here, we can see that under that, we can find all of the Office content. After the next one, well, I'm just going to select something like Excel, Adobe here, and then I'm going to see all of the items that are under Adobe. I hope this has been helpful to you to help you understand how to create the codependent list in Excel. Now keep in mind that you can actually create more columns that are dependent on the column that are next to them, and so on and so forth. The column does not have to be adjacent to each one another. They could be in separate places, long as you refer to the first content of that column, and then understand that dragging it down can also work for it. That will be all for our video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to hit the like button if you found it beneficial. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one.